All right, hey, YouTube. I decided to take the weekend off mainly because I got sick on. It was like Thursday after a couple hours after w after I got my workout in. Um, I started coming down with a pretty bad cold, and I could feel it before that. There was this nonsense where you get that tickle in the back of your throat, and you gotta try to get it out. You can't, but I got the workout in. And a couple hours later, on Thursday, uh, boom, uh, I started coming down with it, and it got worse as the day went on. Got through the funeral, had to stand on a drafty, windy cemetery, which wasn't good because I was not dressed for the occasion. And I thought things were going to get a lot worse than what they were. My sister had it, and she had bronchitis. She got bronchitis from it. I got that years ago, where I got bronchitis, but it's getting better now. Uh, However, Friday I went to work and I got to go back home. So I went to work. Uh, I was planning on working, but my boss thought that I was off. And he was fine with me, and the plant manager were fine with me leaving and taking a vacation day. So that there worked. However, you know, I have work down at the house, and I thought, I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna take it easy. This doggone friggin' one hair that got it. Yeah, there it is. The heck? It's always that one hair, huh? One or two hairs that are just a tuft that just decides to stick up. But anyway, uh, around noon, uh, I decided I got to go down to my mom's house and at least do some work. Clean out their little coal furnace that they had. I got that cleaned out, got the pipes, took the pipes off. And I also had to spray poison on the grass areas where I got a weed whack. Yeah, so I used up all of the weed killer my dad had left. And after I was done with that, I came back home. And then Saturday, it's like 8:30 to 2:15 in the afternoon. I mean, I got up on Saturday. It was like coughing and all that shit. And I thought, nope, I got to go down there and I got to do cleaning up. I got to burn trash. Man, I burned so much shit from that house and it's not over. I don't even know if we burned half of it. It's like more bags and more bags. Uh, so I would like to get something in tomorrow. I don't know because I feel, you know, tires you out. All of this just tires you out. I'm finding out shit from, uh, I mean, I thought I was just POA of my parents' account, my mom's account. And it turns out that because my name's on the statements, all the statements and the checks, that I'm 99% sure I'm joint owner. So that will make things a little easier. I don't think she has any outstanding bills, but taxes. I still got to go to the lawyer, and as long as we got the lawyer, as long as we need the lawyer, I'm going to have to pay him. Okay? Um, but if that's the case, then I will not be facing any legal ramifications because I had no idea about none of this. I had no clue. No one ever told me about executor and shit like that. I'm kind of dumb when it comes to that. And but then I saw that I was executor in the will, and I thought, oh, okay, well, great, I'm executor. Nope. Here in Pennsylvania, I don't know how it is all over any other place in the state or whatever in the United States. You got to get sworn in as executor. So I got to do that not this Friday, coming Friday, but the following Friday. So, and I thought, well, okay. And then the woman said, if you're POA, you shouldn't take any money out because they'll freeze the accounts. However, the fact that it looks to me like I am joint owner, I could, but I'm still not going to. I'm going to let that go, do the executor thing, go to the bank, and I hope they don't need any documentation because I have no idea. That's another thing. My mom never told me where she put it. And the fact that my name is on the account, they will have a record of that so they can look at that. Okay? So I'm hoping that'll work. Otherwise, I don't know what I'll do. Um, I guess when you give a death certificate, your name is the only one on the account. So all I'll have to do then is divvy out the money to my sister. Okay, that's half and half. So yeah, and I tell you what, with the stress of possibly getting legal issues because I thought I was just POA, and with me, it's more like this. Are you kidding me? Because years ago, people didn't need to get sworn in. If you were already the executor, you were the executor. Now they change it because this people and people just keep going along with it. For the life of me, I mean it. Ah, yeah. That's garage beer, and this is Labatt Blue. God, I tell you, man, I friggin' hate light beer, but I drink it because over the past year, after what happened last year and now this year, I tell you, man, my shape has gone. It was kind of okay, but I've been eating like shit. But yeah, um, if I'm wrong about all this, maybe I don't know if they allow you to do a video in jail. I have no idea. But one of the problems was, and I didn't go to the bank yet because if they would have froze the account when I found out, and the electric bill comes, and they shut the electric down because I can't pay because they can't get the money, then we're fucked down there. We can do shit, but there are rooms and there are areas that you need light. And that's irritating. It's like, why put people through that? Because I'm sure that happened to people who thought, well, I'm POA, and they didn't realize that once a parent died, the last one died, they were done. And they wrote checks out, and boom, they got legal shit and accounts frozen and all that shit. But I'm hopeful. It isn't a lot. It's a little because if you take a look at what's going on in this world, you got they're trying to do food shortages, okay? Because the Bolsheviks, our little tiny hat friends, one of their best uh, ways of fucking the people is food shortages. Okay, so that's another reason we got these high gas prices, and that's for a number of reasons. Farmers and truckers are having problems, and they got to pay. If it costs 650, if it costs $650 to fill your tank, a guy said 3 months ago, $650. Now over 1,200. It's almost double. It wasn't double, but almost. You know, it's like I said, I'm not a career criminal. I little bitty stuff every now and then. So I'm not, you could say, built for that since I don't do that. It's something that I would have to learn. There are guys out there that are career criminals, and there's shit that if they have to do it, oh, this darn. That's the thing. This fucking tickle in the back of your damn throat just all the time. It's like, shove it. They have no problem with that. I don't. I'd have to learn stuff. Uh, but it's. I filled half of my tank. I have a truck. It's a 6 cylinder, and half of my tank costs $72. So full would probably 100 and what, $44? I mean, are you kidding me? I remember a few years ago or whatever when it was a whole tank, almost a whole tank would cost $72. Yep. Being a good person is a lot different than you think. Sure, it's being nice to people and respecting people and being kind and having empathy and compassion. But it's also dropping the hammer on people. And the people that are trying to ruin us and destroy us are psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists. And like I said, my parents were narcissists. I dealt with that. I have dealt with that type of person most of that's the type of person I dealt most in my life. Narcissists. And narcissists, a psychopath is kind of a straightforward. They're conniving and they're dangerous and all that. But a narcissist is, oh my God, you push them like, to be accountable, and it's like, you bad, me good, you bad person, and it's just constantly, and they just can't, and you're like, are you kidding me? I'm the bad guy again when I know I'm not. And then other people, well, I can't believe that they would be that way. But I have found out that there are people that saw through my mom and dad, okay? Which didn't help me or my sister. I took the brunt of it, but they saw through it. So there are people that see through that. And if you've been around enough people in your life, you eventually are going to go, yeah, I see where you are. I see you got your face on. How many faces do you have in that closet at home, huh? And why don't you go home and put on one that's repentant? That's the thing. I want to think about the other person. I try to do that. Um, sometimes though you gotta be a dick. But yeah, I'm yeah, okay. Yeah, I gotta look for my I think I'm gonna go down to the house and put in the money here for the CDs. Because I gotta fill out a questionnaire. And why are you filling out a questionnaire? Well, you're filling out a questionnaire because they want to see how much valuable stuff you got that's over $1,000 so that they can go, oh boy, we can get more money. Yeah, you can get more money. Why are you getting more money? Because I would go up there with a gun, but I can't on my own because if I do that, you're going to go, well, that guy's crazy. No, no, I want to stop this. I want people to be free and not go, am I going to get arrested? Am I going to get taxed out my ass? Am I going to lose my home, my livelihood? What's going to happen? And yeah, if I go up, it ain't going to be like, because I'm not a psychopath. It's going to be like, this is going to be ugly and I ain't going to make it, but at least I won't have to pay tax. Yeah, so that's what I got to do now. I want to go down there and do that. I want to just put those numbers in, and I don't know. If I don't fill this damn questionnaire out when I get to the lawyer, she can figure it the hell out. And you got to do that. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so that's the plan, and I am not going to tell you that I'm going to stick to the plan because depending on how this is, because yesterday when I got up, I kind of felt a little better, like I do now. And then I started feeling worse. And then I felt a little better later on in the day. And I felt a little better when I got up this morning. So I'm taking zinc, Zycam. It's called Zycam. It's zinc. I haven't taken it. I got to take another one. I used to take like one a day, and I saw that you can take one every 2 to 3 hours. And of course, then I forget about it because I've got other shit to think about. I'm thinking about so much, my brain's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. It'll probably leak out my ear and run off one day. But anyway, I'm gonna end this and I really want to get down there. Man, I want all this to be behind me and I want to get on a road to better shape, a better attitude, and all of that shit. Okay, because this is really and it is a real strain. But I am a man and men should go forward. All right. So that's the end of that.